some of your fondest memories from your time at Dunder Mifflin?
There was no fond memories. But there's one thing that I do remember. I remember when Michael made me throw a watermelon off the roof to see how far it would bounce.
Really, Jim? Michael!
Michael's thinking about throwing a watermelon off the roof because he's going through a rough time right now and might want to throw himself off the roof. As the safety officer at Dunder Mifflin, I need to calculate how far he'll bounce after he hits the trampoline. In this case, how far the watermelon will bounce. So we're given a parametric equation, x equals t squared and y equals t cubed. Take the derivatives, and then we know to find arc length, to find the distance of a parametric, we have to take the derivative of x squared and the derivative of y squared with respect to t, all squared. And we're doing this 1 second after the watermelon hits the trampoline, so from 0 to 1, and then you simplify and get t squared of 4 plus 9t squared dt. Then you do u du, and then you get 1/18 squared of u from 0 to 1 du. And when you simplify all that, you get 1.44 meters. So if Michael threw himself off the building onto the trampoline, he'd bounce 1.44 meters. I think he should do it. He'll be safe. Michael, isn't depression just a fancy word for being sad?
Dwight, you're an ignorant person. No, depression is serious. Millions of families suffer every year.
Are you ready?
Drop that sucker.
Bingo!
Okay.
So what are your fondest memories of being at Dunder Mifflin?
I would have to say definitely all the times I pranked Dwight, especially this one time. I took a stapler and I actually molded it into some Jello. It was hilarious.
Hey, Dwight, I want to show us a picture of your car.
Oh, sure. Dang it, Jim!
Oh, judge is in session. What seems to be the problem here?
Got my stuff in Jello again. It wasn't funny the first 2 times, and it's not funny now.
But you gotta eat it out. Okay, there's starving children in Africa. It's not funny. But it's very wasteful to just leave all that Jello there.
Aren't you gonna punish him?
Jim, apologize to Dwight.
I know what you mean. Dwight, I'm sorry because I've always been your biggest fan.
You should put him in custody.
Dwight had been getting really annoying lately, so I decided to teach him a lesson by putting a stapler in Jello. And now Michael's actually said that he's gonna have to eat the Jello in order to get back to his stapler. So I figured out a little equation here to figure out just how much Jello he's gonna have to eat. Now, we know that the Jello can be represented by the equation x squared minus 2x plus 2 if you rotate it around the x-axis. And the stapler is 5 inches cubed. So we're going to go ahead and remove that at the end of the equation. Now, of course, the way to find the volume of this, if you rotate it around the x-axis, is you would simply use this equation here. Pi times the radius squared is, of course, the equation for any function of this sort. And once you square out this function, you end up with x to the 4th minus 4x cubed plus 8x plus 4. And the integral of that is 1/5 x to the 5th minus x to the 4th plus 4x squared plus 4x from 1 to 0. Now, you can plug in 1 for all of these x's, and you would end up with 1/5 minus 1 plus 4 plus 4. And then, of course, you would subtract the 0, but that would cancel out since there's a variable in each one of these. After you add all of this together, you end up with 36/5, and then you would multiply that times the pi from the beginning. And that answer is around 22.619 inches cubed. But then, of course, you would have to subtract the 5 inches cubed for the stapler, and you would end up with a final answer of 17.619 inches cubed of Jello that Dwight is going to have to eat. So how was your day at Dunder Mifflin?
It was very unusual, but highly memorable.
How much longer do I have to keep doing this? I can't keep doing this forever.
You've been doing it for 20 seconds.
Call it.
Okay, does anyone else want to try?
I'll go.
Alright. So you're gonna have to assess the situation. Are they breathing?
No, Rose, they are not. And they also have no arms or legs. So we'll have to assess what quality of life we have here.
If you have no arms or legs, would you really want to be resuscitated?
I would want to be resuscitated.
Well, that's basically how you live right now, Kevin. You're useless.
Oh. Whoa, that's way too fast. You want to pump to the beat of Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. So, for the CPR training, we need to know the ideal compressions at 1 minute that Michael needs to do. And to do that, we're going to take the derivative of this equation, which is the beats that have occurred after time t. So we take the derivative and we get 60t to the ninth plus 60t squared, and we need to plug in 1 to find the ideal beats at 1 minute. And then we do that, we find that f prime of 1 is 120, meaning that Michael needs to compress at 120 beats per minute. Staying alive.
I love that song. First I was afraid, I was petrified.
No, that's not the song. It goes ba, 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 staying alive,
staying alive. Oh, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man, no doubt.
Stop. So you did make 120 beats per minute, and we lost him. And no one called 911, so he's dead.
Does anyone know what to do next?
No, I don't know what to do.
You check for an organ donor card. If they
alright.
have one, we only have minutes to harvest.
I already checked for a wallet, they don't have one.
He does have an organ donor card.
The heart!
Oh God,
Dwight.
Oh my God, Dwight! What are you doing?